Are you tired of constantly amending your garden soil, only to see its vitality fade? Imagine a garden where the soil actually gets richer and more vibrant with each passing year, without constant effort from you. Discover the 15 perennial plants that will do all the work for you, creating an unending cycle of living, fertile soil. The soil revolution starts here. Annual plants have dominated vegetable gardens for generations, but their shallow roots and short life cycles mean they extract nutrients without building the deep soil structure that creates long-term fertility. Perennials operate on an entirely different timeline, investing years into establishing extensive root networks that dive deep into subsoil layers, bringing up minerals while simultaneously creating channels for water infiltration and air movement. These permanent root systems become highways for mycorrhizal fungi, the invisible partners that extend nutrient gathering capacity exponentially while binding soil particles into stable aggregates that resist erosion and compaction. So, the transformation from depleted ground to a thriving biological ecosystem, well, it happens gradually as perennial roots live, die, and regenerate in cycles that deposit organic carbon at multiple soil depths. Each year, a portion of these roots naturally dies back, while new growth extends further, leaving behind decomposing organic matter that feeds soil microorganisms and builds up humus reserves. This whole process creates what soil scientists call liquid carbon pathways, where living roots are actively pumping sugars and carbon compounds into the rhizosphere, feeding bacterial and fungal communities that, in turn, make nutrients available to plants. The result is soil that becomes more fertile, more resilient, and more biologically active with each passing season, rather than depleting over time. Rooted in resilience, the top 5 soil builders. Comfrey stands as the undisputed champion of soil-building perennials, sending a massive taproot down 10 feet or more to mine calcium, potassium, and trace minerals from deep subsoil layers that most plants never access. These nutrients concentrate in Comfrey's large leaves, which you can harvest multiple times per season and use as mulch or compost accelerator, essentially creating free fertilizer, while the living roots continue their underground mining operation. The plant's aggressive growth habit means it produces tremendous biomass that feeds soil life both above and below ground, while its deep roots break through hardpan layers that would stop lesser plants. Yarrow brings entirely different strengths to your soil-building arsenal, with its delicate fern-like foliage hiding an incredibly tough, drought-tolerant constitution. This plant's fibrous root system creates a dense mat in the top foot of soil that holds ground against erosion, while its roots exude compounds that stimulate beneficial soil microorganisms. Yarrow also functions as a dynamic accumulator, kinda like Comfrey. It concentrates phosphorus, copper, and potassium in its tissues, and its flowers attract predatory wasps and beneficial insects. These helpful critters naturally help control pest populations. Siberian iris combines spectacular spring blooms with, honestly, one of the most impressive root systems in the perennial world. It forms dense networks of fibrous roots that really grab onto soil particles and prevent erosion, even on slopes. These roots don't just hold soil in place, but they actually improve its structure by creating countless tiny channels as they grow and die back seasonally. The plant tolerates wet conditions that would rot other perennials, making it just perfect for rain gardens or poorly drained areas where you need to build soil biology in challenging conditions. Beyond beauty, there are 5 unsung heroes for subterranean success. Wild ginger really thrives in the shade where most soil-building plants struggle, spreading slowly but steadily to create a living carpet over forest garden floors. Its shallow but extensive root system holds soil in place under tree canopies, while its evergreen leaves trap falling organic matter, creating a composting layer right on the soil surface. The plant's roots form partnerships with mycorrhizal fungi that extend throughout your shade garden, connecting with tree roots and creating the fungal highways that, really characterize healthy forest ecosystems. So, False indigo, which is actually a native legume that's often overlooked in perennial borders, performs this kind of magical trick by pulling nitrogen straight from the air and fixing it in root nodules where soil bacteria can access it. This basically means that false indigo is able to fertilize itself and also its neighboring plants, while its deep taproot brings up minerals from subsoil layers. The plant grows into a pretty substantial, shrub-like perennial that can reach about 3 to 4 feet tall. And, when you cut it back or when it naturally dies back in winter, all of that nitrogen-rich tissue ends up feeding soil organisms. Hostas often get dismissed as just purely ornamental shade plants, but their extensive root systems actually build a lot of organic matter in the soil year after year as parts of the plant die back and then regenerate. A mature hosta clump can have roots stretching out 2 feet in all directions, which really helps create structure in areas where, honestly, you can't dig without risking damage to tree roots. The plant's large leaves function as living mulch during the growing season, and then break down each fall to feed soil biology through winter. Perennial powerhouses, the final 5 for unending fertility. Daylilies surprise gardeners with their almost indestructible nature and their ability to break up compacted soil with surprisingly robust tuberous roots that push through clay and hardpan. These roots store carbohydrates that fuel aggressive spring growth, and as older roots die and decompose, they leave channels that improve drainage while feeding soil microorganisms. Daylilies spread steadily without becoming invasive, and they gradually improve larger areas of problem soil. Coneflowers anchor themselves with taproots that can reach about 3 feet deep, while their upper root system spreads laterally, creating the multi-layered root architecture that really characterizes healthy prairie soils. These native perennials evolved in ecosystems built on deep topsoil, and they recreate those conditions by continuously adding organic matter at multiple depths. Their seed heads also feed birds through winter, bringing natural fertility back to your garden through bird droppings. Bee balm spreads through shallow rhizomes that create dense root mats, which are just perfect for holding soil on slopes or in rain gardens where erosion threatens. The plant's aromatic foliage and tubular flowers support specialized pollinators and, underground its roots, form extensive partnerships with mycorrhizal fungi. So, here's the thing about bee balm. Its spreading habit means it can be a bit aggressive in rich soil, but hey, no worries, you can manage it easily by digging up those excess plants in the spring and moving them to areas that need a little soil improvement. Now, let's talk about creating a thriving evergreen garden. Strategic placement of these perennials creates zones of intense biological activity that, over time, expand outward. This improves adjacent areas through fungal networks and root exudates that influence the nearby soil. You can plant comfrey and false indigo where you can harvest their biomass to feed other garden areas. Position yarrow and daylilies in full sun locations where you need drought tolerance. And use wild ginger and hostas to build soil under trees where, quite frankly, nothing else thrives. The beauty of perennial soil building is that your work decreases each year as plants mature and soil vitality increases. It's like creating a truly sustainable garden that gives far more than it takes. Isn't that just wonderful? So, are you ready to build soil that gets better every year? Subscribe to the Living Soil Lab for more strategies that work with nature's wisdom. And hey, why not share this guide with other gardeners who are ready to invest in their soil's future?